on my end. Yep. The senpai-kohai relationship.
Can't fucking wait. I am now recording locally. Oh my god, I'm so fucking excited.
Okay, Dev? Devon.
Okay.
The spy who devved me. Okay.
That clap wasn't the clap. I'm now recording locally.
No, we're about to sync because I have just started the Zencaster. So, when I say mark, you say clap. 3, 2, 1, mark. Beautiful. Alright, I'm going to go straight into the theme song here.
I have to get her off. How? The equipment Q sent for me. Oh, I admit it's a little kinky.
Welcome back to Kill James Bond, the podcast where we try and kill James Bond. I am Alice Caldwell-Kelly. Joining me are Abigail Thorne.
Hello.
And Devon.
How you doing? Welcome to Kill Roger Moore.
We watched The Spy Who Loved Me. Roger Moore's, well, I want to call it You Only Thunderball Twice, right? Because this is the point where the Bond movies start to, like, the tape has come a bit fucked in the machine. And it's just, like, showing you scenes over scenes.
Diamonds are Thunderball twice.
Yes.
I hate to say this, but I enjoyed this movie quite a great deal. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
still
so did
things
I,
to
sadly.
complain about, but this is the most fun I've had watching a Bond film so far.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So, I'm just going to go straight into the synopsis, to be honest.
Yeah, fucking hit us with it.
Because editing has been invented by the time this movie is
Thank
made.
God.
So we fucking start. It fucking starts. It fucking goes.
It's
We start on a British submarine, HMS Ranger, which is just hanging out doing Cold War stuff. Only for some fucking tractor beam shit to befall it. The cups of tea in the canteen start shaking, and it loses all power, and it disappears entirely. And at the same time, a Soviet submarine, the Potemkin, also goes missing. And we get this kind of quite fun sequence of M and M's Soviet opposite number, General Gogol.
Gogol.
Both doing the exact same thing of, like, taking phone calls from their respective bosses and being like, yeah, I'll put our best agent on it. And we see M immediately texts Bond on his shitty fucking watch.
We're out of order a little.
We are.
Because it is slightly important. So, we have Russian Bond, but this isn't no Red Grant, motherfucker. This isn't no boy. This is a girl boss.
Yeah.
They
Gogol's like,
fucking...
I will get
the
Agent
way this
Triple
is
X.
made, right, is so clearly intended to be like, you're supposed to be shocked because you're watching this movie in 1970 or whatever. You're
Absolutely.
like, but who a woman?
I've got to say, I fully fell for
yeah.
it. I think they fully got me with this scene. I was like, oh.
The subtitle spoiled it for me.
Yeah. Gogol asks his secretary, Soviet money penny, communal property penny, that
Not justifying that.
where Agent Triple X is, and she's like, she's at a people's rest and restoration retreat.
Sorry, what?
It's like, get me Agent Triple X, and it cuts to a couple having sex, and the lad rolls off, and my man got a rug. God damn.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
dude has so much chest
He
hair.
looks
got a
like
Connery
the
haircut.
non-union Lazenby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
And, like, the camera focuses on him.
And you
like,
think it's gonna be, I have to go because I got a mission, but it's fucking her. She's Agent Triple X, the Soviet Union's best spy. And Bond, meanwhile, is also doing the exact same thing because this is just what spies do in their off hours.
Mm-hmm.
They just fuck.
Is be fucking. But like, the reason I want to talk about this moment specifically is because I have a note here that simply says the 1970s. This is aesthetically, this is so much the fucking 1970s now. Bond has like a digital watch which has a ticker tape thing in it that like prints out M yelling at him.
I think honestly part of the reason why I like this movie so much is because it is 1970s. Like they finally swapped into it. Even the music a little bit is like it's got the Bond leitmotif to it, but there's all sorts of, and I cannot put this any other way, 70s noises mixed into
disco.
It. And it's so good.
There's like Bond brackets funk, which, again, if you want to use that on this movie instead of Live and Let Die, I don't understand you, but I'm quite enjoying it. Bond is in a sort of ski chalet in a log cabin in Austria with a girl. And just as an example of the sound design, right, that's going on here, Bond has a fairly sort of standard, like, I have to go because, my boss. And she does the usual, James, no, you can't go.
I have to come.
I have a... Yes, exactly.
She wasn't going to be.
I have to get her off. How?
But I have here a drop, which I have simply entitled doot.wav.
But James, I need you.
So does England.
God's sake, that's so cheesy.
And he pulled out a horn and started tooting Reveille there.
As he says this, he is wearing a bright yellow ski suit. He looks fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
There's another line that I really want to highlight, which is when we get to M and he's like, where's Bond? And some other guy's just like, well, he's on a mission, sir, right now. And M's line is, well, tell him to pull out immediately. And then it cuts to Bond fully boning down, and it's like da-da-da-da-da-da. There's a lot more of those in this movie.
I'm really into the in my head, that's like Roger Moore's sort of like spinning 007 moment thing is every time he does some Bond shit, what he's hearing in his head is just like do. Yeah.
There is a genuinely really good ski chase though.
There's a ski chase.
Oh, it's really
good. There's a fucking ski chase. Bond in his bright yellow ski suit and a bunch of Soviet agents who include fake Soviet Bond, the guy who Agent XXX was fucking earlier, are skiing after Bond and trying to kill him because, I don't know, just Cold War shit, basically. And Bond kills a couple of them and then dives off of a cliff, skis attached, and pulls the ripcord on a Union Jack parachute.
This is the moment, actually, if you look at any historian's idea of James Bond, I hate that I said that, but if you do, this is the moment when Bond became like a fundamental British hero instead of just a character who happened to be British. And it's like this hit the psyche of England so fucking hard.
We've never recovered.
And it says a lot that my immediate thought upon seeing that was nonce.
And this moment ends up being deliberately like parodied in later Bond films. When we get to Die Another Day, we'll see it come back. But it's a genuinely amazing stunt, and they really did it. They had a guy ski off a cliff. He nearly fucking died.
They just threw a guy off a cliff. Yeah, but like I also like.
Yeah, it's not a doll this time, like with Lazenby.
I have
they killed a man for this movie.
Yeah. I actually have a bit more affection for it than the nonce thing because. I don't know, combined with the, like, weird noises, which is an ongoing theme of this movie. This movie has so many weird noises mixed into it.
Hell yeah, man.
And also just the fact of, like, everything looking so 70s. As soon as the parachute opened, I just kind of put my head in my hands and I just kind of remember going, oh, you daft old bastard. You know, this is the silliest shit I've ever seen. And, like...
Well, to its credit, I did also write down, now that's some real Bond shit.
Yes. Yeah,
Like,
it
that's
is.
fucking capital B Bond shit right there, baby.
Do.
Mm-hmm.
We get the credits, which I'm not going to dwell too much on. It's naked girls and guns. The funny thing is that it does seem like Bond is like on a trampoline for most of it. He just like the first time you see
that was weird.
the Bond silhouette, he's like springing into frame off of a trampoline.
Nobody does it better.
Nobody does it better. Carly
I actually had
Simon.
that stuck in my head for the last 2 days.
It's a pretty good song.
It's a good song.
It's a good song.
It's she's no Shirley Bassey, but she doesn't need to be. It's a good song.
Good.
Yeah.
Mm. Meanwhile, in Moscow, Agent X finds out that somebody has killed her boyfriend in Austria, but we don't know who yet.
Yeah. In my favorite set in this whole movie, General Gogol's office, which I don't know if it's intended to be a reference to Ivan the Terrible or if it's just like, I don't know, Ken Adams' brain, but he's in kind of like a communism monastery. It's like bare white walls.
It's huge.
Like
There's
arches.
no reason for his room to be that big.
Yeah,
it's massive.
giant banner of Lenin specifically, which is cool.
It's his desk is in the center of the room as well. Like, it's not against a wall or anything.
And the rest of the room is like totally featureless, apart from a single chair. But like in the middle of the shot, right? There's just a chair in the middle of the room, and
so we have invented editing, but we haven't invented cinematography just yet.
Oh, we invented halfway through this movie.
No. And so I looked at this chair and I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. And then it did the reverse shot back to Gogol. And there's another fucking chair behind his desk, also in just the middle of the room.
Equidistant between the chairs is his desk.
He just has this perfect
very
arrangement
unusual.
of like chair, desk. And I really appreciate it.
The room, honest to God, looks like a fucking point-and-click adventure game, where it's like, oh, I know exactly what I would have to drag onto what here.
Use
put in
chair
the scenario.
on.
Yeah, he's got a normal phone, and he's got a red phone for like
cool.
top secret shit. Business and pleasure.
I would just use the secret phone all the time.
Oh, well, that ruins the majesty of using the secret phone, though. You'd have to get another secret phone to be like your double secret phone.
Imagine Gogol calls you in and tells you to take a seat and you just sit in one of the like fucked chairs.
So as you can see... No, that's fucking... Sorry, that was German.
It was very normal. But then I ate this store of chocolates that we found.
My name is Gogol. I'm the premier of the USSR. I feel like maybe he would have a different accent to that. I might have fucked that a little.
I kind of like Gogol. He
Gogol's
plays... Yeah, he plays off doing M but Russian pretty well, I think. He displays some concern for Agent X, and then he like softens a bit when he tells her that her boyfriend has been killed in Austria. She doesn't know it's by Bond yet, but we do. And he sets her on this thing of finding the missing submarine, the Potemkin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, we go straight back to the dismal nonce country, to Britain, of course.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the movies where we remember that Bond was in the Navy.
Oh,
so
do they remember it?
They pour him into a uniform, and we
they decant Roger Moore into a naval officer's uniform.
Roger
and he
Moore has
looks
been strained
so out of it.
Yeah, into a Navy commander's uniform. You have to skim her off.
He looks terrible.
How?
Also, Roger Moore my man is looking old as balls in this film.
He's old in this movie.
And this is only his third film. Like, he's only gonna look fucking older. He's got 4 more to go, but he looks like shit.
He was like 47, I think, in this movie.
Yeah.
Around there.
Navy Bond goes to Fast Lane Naval Base in Scotland, which looks as miserable then as it does now or at any other time. And gets the sort of the fun briefing from the various Royal Navy people. my favorite part of this, right, is that not only does the Navy work in like a very modernist office in Scotland, but there's a big metal vault that says like Polaris control room, right? And when the Navy are trying to brief him and M, the way that
he was 49 in this movie.
Jesus. The way that they try and open this is you open a blank keypad, just push a bunch of like different buttons.
They all make a slightly different tonal
like,
beep as well.
And then the giant sort of vault door swings open, and a computer on a fucking motorized thing is just yeeted out towards you. It's fantastic.
Some real Bond shit.
It's some real Bond shit. Like, this is the thing. This whole movie is just, like, it's so fucking silly that, like, once it sheds the sort of the thing of, like, oh, we have to take this seriously, and just goes into, like, one of our submarines is missing, 007. You can just be like, oh, yeah, okay, this is stupid. I can play along with this.
Yeah. It's good.
And the upshot of this scene, which, like many of the scenes in this film, goes on too long, but the upshot is that somebody has found a way to trace the position of nuclear submarines when they are underwater. And whoever it is who has managed to do this is maybe located in Cairo. So go there and find out.
And then we cut to our main boy, the villain for this movie.
Yes.
Marine biologist.
Discount Blofeld.
Carl Stromberg, who I enjoy him a little bit more than I liked Blofeld, actually, in everything except
it's kind of interesting. I thought he was just going to be a Blofeld guy. I thought he was just going to be like Carl Stromfeld, a different man. But he kind of carries it off.
The difference is that Blofeld's plans made slightly more sense.
Yes. The thing about Stromberg, right, is that he kind of brazens this move out by being the most Scandinavian man. So he just kind of like, he spends this entire movie sitting there in like diaphanous black robes, like Death in the Seventh Seal.
All of his fucking chairs look like they were designed by a lessee. Like they're just lumps. He's just got shapes in his house that he sits on. Extremely
uncomfortable looking modernist chairs, and he just talks like,
"Observe, Mr. Bund."
He calls him Mr. Bund so fucking often.
Mr. Bund.
Mr. Bund. Mr.
Bund. He has one massive long table though.
Yeah,
and the scene in which we're introduced to him, he is sat at one end. There is woman sat at the other end. Don't worry about her. And then two guys come in, and these are the most fucking scientist-looking ass guys I have ever seen.
A fun thing. I could be wrong about this because I didn't bother to check, but I'm pretty certain that one of these dudes was also the nuclear physicist in Thunderball. Which leads me to believe that along with our favorite app, Hench, there is also like a Boffin app. And you can just like sell your services to the nearest evil genius if you're a professor of something interesting.
Well, they sure as fuck aren't going to get another job after this.
I guess when you've worked with one evil genius, really you're sort of typecast at that point.
That's true.
You can only be the evil scientist. So he brings them in and he goes, what voice? I'm going to give him the German one because he's called Stromberg, even though he doesn't sound like that.
He's like, he sounds a bit like Henry Kissinger.
He goes, fantastic. You have successfully held up your half of the bargain. Now I have sent 10 million to each of your Swiss bank accounts. However, there is one thing, and then like there's like drama music, and he's like, I have determined that someone in this room. No, he doesn't. He just goes, I have determined that someone has betrayed me and sold a microfilm to someone, tried to sell it in Cairo.
Someone's leaked the tracking device thing.
And he goes, you'd better leave us. And she gets up and walks into the elevator to leave. But it was a fake out. He knew that she was the one who did that, and he presses a big button.
Classic Blofeld maneuver.
And drops her off fucking Shark Tank.
I mean, even the Shark Tank's about... Yeah. This is a movie that, like, basically has no individual new ideas. it's like you only thunderball twice is what it is, but like it's I don't know.
It's a bit of From Russia in Love there too.
It's a bit of From
We are
Russia
running
in
out
Love.
of water-based animals that can kill people. I mean, we are the only one that's really left is jellyfish, and Alex Rider already did that.
Well, not yet. So
We've
they
had
could have gotten
crocodiles,
in
we've
there.
had sharks, we've had piranhas.
Jellyfish.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
what
that
else
was
are we
very
going to have?
primitive.
Like dolphins?
Yeah, exactly. They went. They had sharks. They busted sharks first, and I think they realized that was maybe a mistake to go so early on sharks.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, piranhas? I don't know, crocodiles. All right, fuck, bring the sharks back.
Crocodiles,
Just the
sharks
one
again.
shark this
sharks
time,
again
though.
twice.
just
Yeah.
one."
So this poor woman is eaten by sharks, and the boffins are terrified. But he's like, "No, go. I've done all of my terrifying killing. I definitely won't have you killed now." Even though
thank God.
you've just established that I love to kill people by misdirection.
They both get in the elevator as well immediately afterwards, and I was like, I wouldn't have personally got in that
I'd take the
elevator. I'd have been
stairs,
like,
to
yo,
be
is
honest.
it the
I would have taken the stairs,
Some
yeah.
shit, dog. Yeah, I wouldn't have
Also,
got in
it
that
makes no
elevator.
fucking sense because they get on a helicopter to fly away and they're like, well, we did it, we escaped. And then he presses a button and blows up the helicopter, and it's like, why
Double
why
Blofeld.
did you, if you were gonna kill them anyway, why did you also blow up your own helicopter and flight crew? Why didn't you just dunk them in the shark tank? Why didn't you shoot them with a gun?
He just loves blowing up helicopters.
Someone gets in the helicopter and takes off, and they immediately get a call for him that's like, you have outlived your usefulness to me after taking off your helicopter. Goodbye. I think he has a very
You just killed your own crew.
No, the thing is, it takes ages to reset the spring-loaded floor on the elevator, so you gotta do this.
But this tells us everything we need to know about Carl Stromberg, which is that his plan is fucking insane.
That's true. That is true. Also, this movie really over-relies with Stromberg on man controls bank of CCTV cameras to show like
He has one panel that
power
does
and malice. He has like a
everything.
small. It's about the size of the soundboard that I use to do this show. But like they show him like sort of pressing different things on there and like zooming in and panning around, and it's like this sort of omnipotent tech guy, which is very fun.
Yeah, the problem with that panel that you use to control this is you have electrocuted me a few times by accident while trying to
Do you
play
mind
the
pressing
"A
your
Man
hand to this
Comes"
metal
drop.
plate that plays one of the drops, Mr. Bunny?
There is one thing I'd like to highlight, is that we see that Stromberg is on an underwater fortress that can like submerge and come up again. And I would just like to point out, there is a fireplace behind him with a chimney.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
there's just like a storage room
How?
for where that goes.
How the fuck? This man is underwater and he has a fireplace. How have you done this?
It's in an
It's a
enclosed environment.
really long chimney.
No,
There is
it
a
just
shot
burns.
where he presses the button and the window guards come up and we see that he is underwater.
Yep.
And in the same shot, there is a fireplace.
He knows how much oxygen he has in that room, and he's like, look, I could be breathing this, or I could be warm, baby.
This also he's really taken a cue from Dr. No, right? Because the magnified fish window is back.
Oh, he has so many fish windows.
This
He
man
has like
loves
40
looking
to
at
50
fish.
windows.
He loves looking at fish so fucking much that he has his entire secret base like paneled in fish windows.
Here's the thing. That's the second one, by the way, in case you're keeping count.
Nice.
The thing is, his base, and he fucking presses a button and it goes above the water so that his two scientist guys can take off. Again, just shoot them, but whatever. And this base is the most fucking evil looking base I have seen in some time. It's some real
rules.
like meanwhile
rules.
of a Legion of Doom ass.
Yeah,
fucking-
it's like the dark version of the LAX terminal. It's
It
really
really
cool.
It's so cool. I love it.
So we also get to see his henchman, which in this case we get another fake out because it's a big dude who with like a lot of neck rolls called Shandor, who I really like. I really like Shandor.
I like Shandor a lot.
Mm.
That he summons a wide man and he's like, no. That is not the dimension in which I want my henchmen to be.
No, different
large.
axis. Give me another one of these guys.
Who steps through that door, baby?
Richard fucking Keel. It's Jaws.
It's Jaws.
We love him.
Jaws fucking owns. Jaws.
Bring me a wide henchman and a tall henchman.
Bring me a very tall man. Bring me a 7-foot tall man with metal teeth. And I'm gonna get these two guys together, and I'm gonna set them a mission, which is go to Cairo, find out who's been selling this microfilm with my fucking secret plans on it, and kill everybody who's gonna like even get near it.
It's genuinely like a Pinky and the Brain like duo character designs, except both of them are massive. It's like two huge guys. There's no other foible to any of their characters. It's not Pinky and the Brain, it's like Hunk and the Hunk.
I employ two large men, but large in different directions.
My next man is very deep. I have one henchman who is extremely deep.
So
He's like a place.
We gotta go to Cairo. You know what Cairo is? It's in Egypt. You know what Egypt has? Desert. You know what desert has? Camels. And so the next shot, and this occasions my note, which simply says camel nonce, is Bond wearing full Lawrence of Arabia, like Bedouin dress, riding a camel in the desert.
Check this out. What about nonce of Arabia? Is that anything, do you reckon?
Arabia.
You have to mouth nonce a little bit weirdly to get it to work, but I think nonce of Arabia.
He enters a sort of a caravanserai tent, and we get two things which like I approve of. Roger Moore saying "Salam Alaikum," and then Roger Moore saying,
"May the peace of Allah descend upon this magnificent abode and allow a poor traveler to enter."
Yeah, they made the interesting decision in this one to be like, maybe he should be able to speak the language. Like, after all the previous ones where Bond is like, you forget I took a first in Oriental languages at Cambridge, and then just can't speak at all. They were like, maybe he could just speak Arabic, actually.
Yeah. And of course, he like went to Cambridge with the Sheikh of Egypt.
None of these people are Arab.
Yeah, not
there's
entirely
just a
clear
guy.
what this guy's deal is. He's just a white guy in a tent.
For a second, I thought it was going to be I refuse to go entirely Egyptian thing. But, no, he doesn't work for MI6. He's just, an Egyptian guy who is not Egyptian, who Bond went to Cambridge with.
Is he meant to be Egyptian?
Yeah. His name is Sheikh Hussein.
Yeah, and there are three girls in the background who are all billed as Arab beauty directly in the credits, and none of these people are Arab.
No. And
I did not realize that this guy was meant to be Egyptian. I thought he was just an old friend of Bond's who works in Egypt.
No,
yeah, exactly. Because you would be forgiven for not realizing, because this man doesn't look
you want to talk about
fucking
racist?
thing.
There is there's a bit where the gear changes on the racism, and there is a breathtakingly fast elevation of the racism because there are
they finally
two
find
lines.
An Arab actor.
There are two lines back to back, right? And as soon as I was about to pause to clip one of them, the second one got me, and it was like a 2-hit combo directly to the fucking windpipe. Bond salams this guy. This guy salams back. He's surrounded by the treasures of the Orient, and he says,
"We don't only have oil, you know. But what can I offer you? Sheep's eyes? Dates?"
Yeah, no, I had a stun lock on after this.
We don't just have oil, Bond. Would you like a sheep's eye?
Please.
Or some pussy. There's a moment I'd like to highlight, because this guy is surrounded by sexy ladies, and he says to Bond, "Oh, can I offer you a bed for the night?" And Bond's like, I should really get going on my mission. And this guy claps his hand, and this lady in Not a Lot walks in, and Bond says, "Oh, well, I guess all right, I could shag." But so it's implied that this guy is offering Bond, this woman is his mistress or his wife, or she works for him. But either way, she looks fucking terrified. She is
She's
not making a
concerned,
facial
yeah.
expression like, oh yeah, I would love to shag Roger Moore. She looks fucking scared.
I should also say the kind of vibe that you get off of this guy, off of Hussein, is sort of like hedonism bot from Futurama.
Bond?
It's kind of
Bond?
like,
Sorry, go ahead.
I think it interest you in some pussy, Mr. Bond.
Mr. Bond, have you partaken in our fine selection of pussy?
We have some fantastic cunt stars, Mr. Bond.
the line that Bond says upon realizing that there's pussy offered with the bed is, well, when one is in Egypt, one should delve deeply into its treasures.
Fucking nonce.
Yeah, I just wrote nonce in full caps there. I wrote nonce 4 times in a row.
Just
This is the point in my
on the
notes where
paper.
I have 3 in a row that just say nonce,
Mhm.
and I'm
So-
now reliving it.
So Bond has to like go to a guy's apartment to find a guy called Fekesh who like has information on the microfilm. Fekesh has the nicest apartment in the world.
It's very nice.
A sexy lady tries to distract Bond, and there's like, can I distract you with some pussy while we're waiting? To set him up for being murdered by Shandor.
And this is Roger Moore, so he was like, well, I have just eaten.
Yeah,
What?
what's really funny is he's like, no, this is an obvious trap. I'm gonna go look in this other room instead. He takes 2 steps into the other room, then changes his mind. It's like, pussy.
To be fair,
Like-
though, there is some pussy on offer. So
That
let's
is true.
see. And then he does a move that is similar to the start of a different movie. Come on, buddy. Where he's about to get shot and he just swings this lass around and lets her take the bullet. Just fully kills her and leaves.
It's not like as offensively written this time because the kind of she has a line that kind of suggests that she's throwing herself in the way of the bullet because Bond, I don't know, like did fuck magic on her.
Doesn't come across in
Not
that.
entirely clear.
Mm.
But Bond
And-
fights Shandor on a roof and then murders him. Like, really viciously.
Oh yeah, this is the unprovoked violence for this.
It's quite truly like bad.
Because like Shandor is like a big dude, right? He's a big bald dude. Watching this guy run, watching this guy fight, very funny. I'm genuinely, he's like one of those dudes who's, it's funny to watch run because his muscles can't get out of the way of the rest of him. So he'll just be like running upstairs and just like sort of like different bits of his anatomy will be like colliding with each other. Every time I see Shandor run, I want to do the like Gary's Mod collision noise. But
Fuck, that's good. I might edit that to go out when this goes.
just fucking, yeah, but no, Bond extracts information out of him by dangling him over the edge of a roof. He's like, where's Fekesh? Shandor tells him the pyramids, because there's only 2 locations in Egypt, and Bond doesn't even go like, thanks, and hits his hand free and drops him to his death.
Just questionable morality for that entire scene, really.
Bond just commits murder. It's pretty vicious.
R.I.P. Shandor.
Kronstein Rosette. I'm flagging it
No,
up.
no,
RM.
I have another candidate for this. If Shandor,
Very well.
I was thinking this too, but like if Shandor had survived longer, Kronstein Rosette, but I have something entirely different in mind.
Very well. Oh, I actually think I know what you're referring
Yeah.
to, and I
So-
maybe
so-
agree.
So we go to the pyramids. It's night. There's a big spooky light show about the pharaohs, which is cool.
Yeah. Bond spots Fekesh in the audience, and the reason why he knows what he looks like is because in Fakesh's office there is a framed photograph of himself on his desk that
It's
Bond
called
looks at.
self
Good thing that was
care,
there.
and it fucking rolls.
It's so good. I flagged that up. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's so good.
I actually have a framed photograph of myself directly opposite from where I'm sitting.
Look,
Yeah,
I would like a
James Bond
painting
needs
of
to
myself,
identify
sure.
you. Yeah. So Agent Triple X is there. She is trying to get information out of him. And Fekesh, like, sort of, he makes a run for it. And he is pursued by Jaws.
Exit pursued by Jaws. He likes when the lights light up one of the pyramids or the Sphinx or some shit, like a bit of the side glare illuminates Jaws as well, and Fekesh immediately is like, it is time for me to exit this
Yeah, he's like,
establishment. That's a big
Is
guy.
that
see
Richard
ya.
Keel?
Was that Richard Keel?
So we get to see that Jaws' like party piece is he bites stuff. He bites stuff because he's got metal teeth. The guy Fuckin padlocks him out, and Jaws bites through the padlock chain, which is made of licorice, by the way.
Yeah, I wouldn't have made it out of licorice personally. I'd have preferred chain or metal, maybe. That would have helped.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You would think that would come down to jaw strength rather than the strength of your teeth. But
yeah,
okay.
Also, the way in which Jaws then kills Fuckin is to like bite his neck in a really long shot that kind of suggests that Jaws is a vampire.
Yeah, he's sort of shot like Nosferatu in this scene, which is very strange. But
to me, it suggests that he was kind of gently kissing Fuckash's neck because Richard Keel is so gentle with his deathly embrace that it just looked like he gently kissed Fuckash and Fuckash swooned. It's quite
also,
cute.
he can't open his mouth wide enough for it to look like you'd be able to get enough of a bite of a neck to kill someone. Because let's talk about these fucking these grills, because this is actually the invention of grills. This wasn't popular before him, and this was popularized by this movie. They were fucking painful to have in Keel's mouth. Like, he could only wear them for 30 minutes at a time, and there was a lot of direction he was being given to pull somewhat funny facial expressions with these teeth in, and he was managing it. God bless him, but it hurt to wear those. He couldn't open his mouth very wide.
We
to be fair,
tortured this guy for
iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Amazing.
So Amasova and Bond, Agent XXX and Bond meet for the first time. She has Abigail Thorne's stereotypical sexy Bond lady voice. So she is like, what have you done with Fuckin? That's a little too Italian there.
What have you done with Fuckin?
Gems. Yeah, she fully just calls him
Bond.
Gems Bond.
Mr. Bond.
Nobody fucking gets his name right in this whole movie.
Dude's rock.
Yeah, together they work out that they have to go to a sort of, I guess, a club in Cairo, which fine,
to
whatever.
meet Fuckash's friend. And there's a cute moment in the club where they order each other's drinks. It's quite cool.
It's cute.
Where
this
he's
is
like,
the thing, right?
the lady will have a Bacardi on the rocks. And she's like, Mr. Bond will have a martini, shaken, not stirred. It's very cute.
Yeah, and this is the thing. The two of them actually have a bit of chemistry. Roger Moore can act a little bit. It's and plus in general, just as a personal weakness, I will always have a weakness for two equally matched rivals kind of romance each other. Whether that's fucking
absolutely
Mr. and Mrs. Smith or This Is How You Lose the Time War, that's inject that shit into my veins. So these guys just kind of having this repartee of we both know each other, we're both very good at what we do. That's fun. It's cute.
I don't have so much fondness for that sort of storyline, but that's for personal reasons.
I also somewhat want to say the director has discovered cinematography. They finally invented it during the runtime of this movie, because the entire Egypt scene is played during a fucking talk about the pharaohs, where the lights are turning on and off and illuminating different things. And while Jaws is approaching at a light jog, he never moves faster than a light jog. No. I really respect that.
Yeah.
He just has his
making
arms
the collision
at a 90
noise.
degree angle going on his way. And it's fantastic. And the lights are turning on and off, and it's really menacing. It's genuinely really good.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. Also, Tracy is canon.
Yes. James Bond is a code name, is it? No.
Well,
fucking...
This is the same guy as George Lazenby.
Bond, you will maintain continuity. Absolutely not. This man is a sea captain in World War II. He has been to space and was captured in North Korea. This guy is the same fucking guy across every single one of these movies.
Well, we know that he was married. She doesn't say that his wife was Tracy.
It's pretty
But
heavily
anyway,
implied.
they have
She's
some
like
banter.
married only once, and he is hurt. he like gets her to stop talking about it.
He's genuinely upset to have that one brought up, which is good because I really like that movie, and I'm glad
James
that actually,
Bond.
I didn't like the movie.
James Bond isn't a code name. He has a code name. It's 007. James Bond is just his name. He's one guy. He's a guy.
He's a dude.
He's a dude. Anyway,
he's a guy who was named after an ornithologist.
Yeah.
Jaws kills the guy that they're there to meet.
Jaws breaks in disguised as a telephone repairman and vampire bites the guy.
Yeah. So I want to pull out. I think the reason why I like this movie is that everyone involved is having the same amount of a good time as Christopher Lee was playing Scaramanga. Like they're there to see a guy whose name is Kalba, I think, or something like that. And
who never talks like this.
And he is just fucking teeing off on Bond the entire way through it, because like Bond arrived and goes, "My name is Bond, James Bond," and Kalba replies, "What of it?" And then he's trying to buy the fucking like microfilm off him, and then Anya shows up and she is also trying to buy it. And the guy's like, "Seems you have some competition, Mr. Bond."
Yeah, and this guy
I
has
need to go and make a call.
Fantastic profile too. He's got like one of those faces that is just like
beautiful.
Incredible.
It's built for a profile shot, 100%, and he's perpendicular to Bond for the entire shot, so it's very, very good.
Yeah. So Bond and Amasova sneak into the back of Jaws's phone van.
Yeah, because Jaws has arrived dressed as like a phone repair guy, and he's kneeling down.
Totally in character. He brought his own van for this.
Oh, 100%. And like Carver walks straight past him to go into the phone booth, and he like unfolds himself as he gets up, and this guy's so fucking tall, and just opens the door and like kills this guy. And I just wrote, "Excellent work, Agent 47."
Yeah. Bond
really
and Amasova sneak into the back of the van. There's another fun bit of chemistry where like they're kind of like wary of each other, and then after they've been in the van in the back for like long enough, she kind of like half falls asleep on his shoulder, and then she like wakes up with a start, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't do that," which is it was kind of fun.
It's quite
I'm
cute.
having a nice time at this point. Yeah.
And the thing about I think the best thing is that Jaws has like a microphone in the back of his van that he can hear.
Yeah, you don't have
speaking.
those.
And
Totally
it's so
thing.
good because they like talk about him, and they talk about him in a little bit glowing terms. We're like, "This guy's good," and you can see Jaws just like smile a little to himself.
Yeah,
which was
he's
really
a
cute.
professional killer.
He's a professional killer.
So he drives them to an Egyptian temple because this movie has less respect for Egypt than OSS 117 did, a movie which was doing this on purpose as a joke. And again, we do some cinematography. There's a bit with like a sort of forest of columns where they lose Jaws in it, and they're kind of like searching from side to side, and it's quite threatening.
Yeah, Jaws can teleport.
Until you realize that either Jaws can teleport or Jaws has this 7-foot tall man has Assassin's Creed'd his way up one of these fucking columns because he's just above them now.
Yeah, he's like like meters above them all of a sudden. It's very good.
They have a fight. Amasova tries to escape with the microfilm, and this fucking bit, man. She's trying to escape by stealing Jaws's van. She like can't get it in gear, and then what would otherwise be a relatively funny scene of Jaws like dismantling this van around her and Bond. Like he keeps like attacking it from different angles. He tears part of the roof off. He like tries
Street Fighter bonus level ass.
Yeah.
It was really like Jaws ripping the van up fucking ruled, but Bond was ruining it because every 2 fucking seconds,
shot you go to Bond and he's just like, "Oh, women drivers."
It's genuinely just like it's a good scene, except in between every shot they've just added in a cut to Bond and he says the worst shit you've ever heard in your life, and then it cuts back to the good things happening again.
She like tries to get it in gear and it grinds a bit, and he's like, do you know any other tunes? It's like, oh, fuck off, dude. Fuck off. Shut the fuck up. So they manage to escape Jaws. The van falls apart because it has again been absolutely destroyed by Jaws, which is cool.
I did make a mistake not flagging this up earlier, actually. But when they're fighting Jaws just before they attempt to escape, they knock down a scaffold onto him, and Roger Moore says a line. He just like dismissively goes, "Egyptian builders," and there's a little bit of a story behind that line. So they had a guy from the Egyptian government on the set, watching everything that was happening to make sure Egypt wasn't portrayed in too negative a light. And they really wanted to get that line in. So Moore just mouthed it and they dubbed it in afterwards and it went unnoticed by the censor. And ironically, the Egyptian audiences fucking loved that line. We were really all about that one.
Really?
Which was, it was really an interesting little bit.
Egyptian Baz was like, oh yeah, we are shit.
Fucking builders.
Remember when Pyramid Builders was odd? Anyway, both Bond and Amasova end up stuck in the desert, and I'm going to refer back to this when we do a movie called Quantum of Solace, but
Never heard of it.
If I was stuck in the desert, I would simply walk out of it, because that's what they do.
Which they do?
Yeah, they just walk to the Nile, like the next part of Egypt set.
Yeah. Bond arrives at brackets landmark.
Yeah. Bond examines the microfilm that he has taken off of Jaws. He and Amasova have some more repartee. And
there's something really nice about this moment where they are on a riverboat to Cairo, and it's just so romantic. Like the backdrop is so gorgeous and they're on the water and they're both all dressed up. And the way both actors are playing this is just like they're both trying not to notice how romantic this setting is. And it's just like a really, really nice chemistry to this. There's this great line where they're cold and she says, oh, I don't need, like, I'm fine with the cold. I went on a survival course in Siberia. And Bond says, yes, I believe a great many of your countrymen do. it's just very cute.
Always
I
cold
have
in Siberia.
Something completely opposite to flag up regarding this scene, because that's the reason why you have the both of us on this podcast. Roger Moore has a fucking mode that you can flip him into where he swaps into fuck voice. And he'll deliver any line in this voice. But so they get onto this guy's boat. They just get, like, they walk up to him. Roger Moore speaks Arabic to him and they arrange that they'll take him to Egypt, which is he's in Egypt, take him to Cairo, which is very nice. It's good that he can speak it. But they're on the boat, and Roger Moore just keeps saying like normal lines, and then he'll like get very close to the camera, very close to the microphone, and be like, "So what else do they teach you on that survival course in Siberia?"
And it's a little bit like Prince Philip there.
So what else do they teach you on that survival course in Siberia?
Yes, I did my Duke of Edinburgh in fucking Yakutsk.
Yeah, bad idea, really. Much easier.
That's what you're going to do this Fiat Uno.
He just gets very low and very close to the camera, and he'll deliver any line in that voice, and you're supposed to be like, "Oh, this is horny now." Okay,
yeah, we're fucking. Now, the thing that I want to pull out from this scene that I badly want to make the preview, the trailer, I want to put it on our sizzle reel, is.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's trying to seduce her, and she's like, "Oh, can I have cigarette?" And she's like,
classic move,
bloody Russians, and she puffs the smoke in his face, and this is unedited audio of what happens. Bond is enveloped by a haze of mids. It is Roger Moore, like, surrounded by a cloud of smoke and, like, losing consciousness because she drugs him. But the effect to the modern viewer is fully, I consider mids loud. You know, it just,
Smoking on that shit that killed James Bond.
Yeah, we are truly smoking on that shit that killed James Bond. And when you are smoking on that shit that killed James Bond, the noise that happens to signify that is...
So this is...
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Actually, Mid's actually getting me more fucked up, if anything. This is actually a direct reference to a 50s movie called To Catch a Thief, which has that exact same music played during a moment when a guy gets knocked out with a cigarette. So it's a direct reference, but it is unbelievably funny.
Yeah, 100%.
And she just gasses him and steals the microfilm and leaves him for dead. Absolute queen shit.
Gaslight,
Cool as hell.
gatekeep, go boss.
And so Bond wakes up and he's like, oh shit, I'm going to have to go to next location.
Oh, fuck,
And
what
he
else
just
is in Egypt?
Walks into brackets Egyptian location number
Karnak.
3.
Yeah, Karnak, which is in Cairo, we assume.
Yeah.
And we're doing the fucking hidden M office thing again.
I
It's
love
fun.
this. I actually
Like
love
every
this
landmark,
happening.
every landmark in a Bond film is secretly MI6 headquarters.
But the problem is real estate prices are too high these days. So MI6 and the KGB have to share a landmark office because Bond walks in there. He goes, hey, Moneypenny, how you doing, Queen? Nice tush you got on there today. And walks straight through and it's Gogol is there.
And
Dun, dun, dun.
Bond is like, also Gogol has a little camp desk, like a folding
Very
desk,
cute.
but he has brought a full-size stone bust of Lenin with him, which is an incredibly powerful move.
He knows what's good.
Yeah. And again, really, there's this sort of cute series of moments because M and Gogol have this kind of like professional relationship. They call each other by their first names. So there's a bit where they're like going through the temple. And he's like, after you, Alexis. No, after you, Miles. And it's very cute.
Yeah, so essentially MI6 and the KGB have realized that they've both had a submarine stolen and they've decided to pool their resources in a thing that Gogol keeps referring to as Anglo-Soviet cooperation.
Anglo-Soviet cooperation.
God, I wish.
Anglo-Soviet.
Anglo-Soviet cooperation.
Also, do you like Q sight gags? Because this
Yes,
movie
I
has
do.
noticed that some of you like Q sight gags. And so we have
I love
fully
them.
2 minutes of Q sight gags. Q has just set up a laboratory in this ancient Egyptian temple where he is testing various gags and wheezes. Like
wacky racist ass shit, like a whoopee cushion and like a spring-loaded chair and flower that squirts water and various, like a tea tray that kills people.
He's got a maglev tea tray. Come on, it's fucking sick nasty. He puts a tea tray down on like a pile of bricks and it shoots out with enough force to decapitate a fucking dummy. And he says, great work. I want that ready for Ahmed's tea party.
Fucking ridiculous.
He doesn't put the phlegm in there.
Yeah. It's like, I adapted this from the shitty monorail and you only live twice.
Ken does love a monorail, doesn't he?
He really does.
And he's right.
There's another one later on. There's another monorail. You can't stop putting monorails
There is
in.
another monorail.
It might even be the same monorail. It's just like, we've got to reuse this monorail.
Capital B, capital S, big set that's coming up later on.
So they work out that the microfilm came from a laboratory belonging to Stromberg in Sardinia.
007, this microfilm comes from Laboratoire Garnier. You're going to have to...
they take the train to the Laboratoire Garnier. There's another
You're going to have
fun
to
bit.
disguise yourself as a rabbit. Can we say that? Is that acceptable?
Yeah. I genuinely appreciate the like rivals arc thing here. There's
It's
a bit
really
where
good.
they're like on the train, they have separate bedrooms, and we cut back and forth between them both waiting, expecting the other one to come in and fuck them. And they're just like, oh bloody hell, she's taking her time or whatever. But they're both
really
doing
good.
the same things. And it's nice. It's nice to have a woman who is like in this series who is like, yeah, no, I'm definitely sexually desirable. He's gonna come to me.
I think it's good. But then, of course,
Richard Keel.
Richard fucking Keel. She opens her cupboard, and Jaws is there, and it zooms in on his face, and I don't know what face he was supposed to be pulling, but my man looks like a fucking corpse. It zooms right in, and there's not a fucking muscle moving on his face at all. And I was there like, oh shit, Jaws is dead? Question mark. And then he just like activates Jaws mode. He leaves the cupboard. There's this phenomenal shot that I desperately want to make the episode art, where he's like halfway out of the cupboard, and he's just he's on such a different scale compared to her. It's fucking incredible.
His opening move is to grab her entire face. That's how big his hand is, that he can just do that. It's incredible. So yeah, but he
chokes
Bond and a mass of a fight. He chokes Bond. Roger Moore said in his autobiography that he had 3 expressions when playing Bond: left eyebrow raised, right eyebrow raised, and fighting Jaws. And he really does. He works out the facial muscles for the only time.
Works out the facial muscles.
Face he makes when Jaws chokes him is the sub emoji. Like he just looks like the big eyes.
Just
yeah, he's like pushing 2 index fingers together. Like that is the face he's making.
2 pointer fingers, like, oh, Jaws, you wouldn't. There's also a great shot where Jaws is like smacking him repeatedly. Like he's picked him up bodily and he's just hitting him against the ceiling, and it's so clearly a dummy. Like one shot.
Yeah, but Bond
good.
Electrocutes Jaws. He throws him from the train, and we establish something about Jaws, which is he is able to survive implausible things.
Jaws is unkillable.
There is a shot of Jaws sort of dusting himself off, contemplating life in the universe after being thrown from a train, which I appreciate a lot.
It's nice. He just felt like, well, fair enough. Next on the agenda. And I respect that fucking go-getter attitude. He had a plan.
Absolutely.
It didn't work out. He got thrown out of a train, and he just stood up and was like, well, fair enough.
Richard Keel actually insisted on those sorts of moments. And when he was auditioning for Jaws, the original guy in the script, Jaws, was just a kind of like dumb henchman. And Richard Keel actually said, no, I'm only going to do it if you let me put in these kind of humanizing moments. So this was all this is like very much his take on the character.
Yeah, and not only did it fucking worked perfectly, because Jaws is an absolutely cultural juggernaut. And Richard Keel very much was just signing his fucking check for the rest of his life by playing Jaws twice.
Oh, yeah.
Because he got to play parody Jaws about 400,000 times in the succeeding years. And it's fantastic. He played one character that he fucking nailed and was just like, yeah, I'm just going to live on this now.
Yeah,
dude's rock.
So Bond and Tomasova check into their hotel in Sardinia under fake names, Mr. and Mrs. Sterling, as marine biologist and wife.
Marine biologist and wife.
Immediately get an invitation to meet with Stromberg, and he sends his absolute smoke show henchwoman Naomi. It's so happy to see another trans woman who doesn't do voice therapy. Naomi, I mean, Naomi fucking owns, right? But she's husky is not the word. This woman eats cigarettes rather than fucking smoking them.
She pulls up and is like, Mr. Bond.
Yeah,
so good. Bond. She actually rolls.
She does the Matt Berry voice.
Yeah, and it's so fucking funny because like she's genuinely like
ski, like, hello there.
Very attractive, but like, yeah, no, just like she's like in a bikini, but the voice is like this. Mission failed. We'll get him next time. So,
all right, sunshine.
Well, fuck kind of name is Bond anyway.
My boss, Carl Stromberg, wants to see you vaguely for like 4 to 5 minutes.
So, like, she takes them to the sea base, and the only thing she tells Bond about Stromberg is, don't shake hands with him. He doesn't do handshakes. He doesn't like him. Please do not shake hands.
He has a hand thing, and I'm going to flag this up again later, but there's a hand thing. Bear that in mind, listener.
And Bond, of course, immediately forgets this. World's greatest secret agent.
World's greatest.
Tries to, like, shake hands with them anyway. And I mean, at this point, Bond's cover is fucking blown, right? He's looking out at the fish windows, and Stromberg, like, points out a weird fish, and he's like, I expect you recognize that one, because you're pretending to be a marine biologist, aren't you, cunt? And Bond goes kind of silent for a minute, and then he correctly recalls the, like, Linnaean name of this fish. And Stromberg is like, well, now that you've won this trivial pursuit round, I suppose I shan't have you executed immediately. And it's just like...
Just to be clear, it's a lionfish.
Mm-hmm.
Any zoo you've ever seen in your life will have carried this beast.
This scene is pointless. It doesn't really add anything.
Yes.
It's there because they did a draft of the script and then somebody realized, oh, Bond has not actually met the villain of this film until the end. So this scene is there just so that they can meet, but it serves nothing. There's no reason for this scene to be there.
Oh, he hands over no information at all.
It's like, good meeting with you, fuck off.
I see that you're a marine biologist also. And Bond's like, yes. And then they're like, fantastic.
He does show him a model of an underwater city. He's going to make underwater Black Hammer City.
Bond's like,
cool. Whatever.
He's like, fantastically not evil looking base you've got here, my friend. It's fantastic. Very good, I would say.
Yes.
Is that a fireplace? I don't know how you managed that. Never mind.
What is this guy's necklace? Is it a cock? Because I've been thinking it's a cock this entire time.
I think so. I think it's a penis.
There's no close up on it ever, but it's very penis shaped.
Penis.
I'm pretty sure it's a penis.
Yeah. So like Stromberg makes another classic villain move where he's like, right, I know these guys are spies. Let them get ashore and then kill them.
He does the classic thing where he's like, fantastic, Mr. Bund, it's been lovely, good day. And then he leaves and he immediately picks up a phone and is like, kill them.
Yes, but not now. Wait until it's much more difficult. And then kill them.
Kill them later.
Kill them. I'm a chronic procrastinator, Mr.
At
Bond.
some point, you're going to have to kill this guy.
Just put
Whenever
it on
you
your
feel like
to-do
it,
list.
though, I don't tell you how to do your job.
Yeah, so Bond is driving the White Lotus spree around Sardinia, and then various of goons try and kill him.
Yeah, hang on. Let's flag up the Lotus Esprit, because there's the scene where Q drops this off. And it's very nice, and it's great, and it's fantastic. But there is a guy in the background
There's
of this
so many
scene.
background guys in this movie.
The most 70s looking ass motherfucker you can imagine. There is a guy in the background.
You think the 1970s was just a thing that existed in cultural products like this? No, because these were like not extras. These are people wearing their own clothes who were just dressing like this.
Yeah, imagine if you have seen The Man from Hong Kong on my recommendation. And if you haven't, go and watch it and then come back. Pause this now. But there's a guy there who has, in the background, he's just shirtless. He has these flare-cut jeans and he has the biggest hair and just like a huge mustache. And he's just there. Like, he's not doing anything important. Yeah. He's just a background guy. And it's like such a perfect distillation of the 70s.
There are so many guys like this. There's like a sailor in a really fucked tall hat driving Naomi there. The hotel receptionist is like 90% rough. The incredible time in our nation's history.
Yeah, what the fuck is she wearing? The rough thing. I don't know what that is.
She's got a terrible neckline on that. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
It's got about 4 or 5 terrible necklines on it.
So they try and kill Bond by shooting a motorcycle sidecar at him, and that doesn't work. They try and kill Bond by like driving after him and having Jaws shoot out of the window, and that doesn't work.
There's a lovely character moment in that bit where Jaws is shooting out of the window, where he's shooting out, he like empties his gun completely and he goes back into reload, and the guy in the seat behind him leans out to try his shot at it, and Jaws just like takes the gun straight off him and does it again himself.
Absolute Chad stuff. Bond presses the nut on the windshield button, which is something that he has. It's not even like an oil slick anymore. He just presses a button and a thing of like gray white goo just comes out in one pump and coats the entire fucking windshield of this car.
You've got a cum shot in the back of his car.
Oh, I admit it's a little kinky.
So The car goes off the road. It lands perfectly vertically in a Sardinian dude's house, and that Sardinian dude then just fully goes,
Mamma mia, che è successo? Oddio, tutto distrutto!
Meanwhile, Jules just
Incredible.
leaves the house, dusts
Yes.
himself off again as ever. Fantastic.
Jules rules. Jules rules.
Mm-hmm. There's an amazing helicopter chase.
Yeah, because Naomi
is flying a helicopter. It's so good.
He invented cinematography. Bond goes past and the fucking helicopter like comes out just like vertically from behind the road.
She like flies alongside and she gives him a wink, and Bond kind of like raises an eyebrow. And well, I mean, I don't know. I've always had a thing for like female aviators as pussy galore. So
man comes.
A man. I think what I'd like to do at this point is to recommend Naomi for the Kronstein Rosette, because
I don't disagree at all.
Who is Bond compared with Naomi? She flies her own helicopter. She nearly kills Bond. She fucking rules. I love her a lot. Yeah, incredible.
Fair enough.
But Bond drives the Lotus Esprit off the end of a pier. And you know what this scene is, because the one everyone remembers from this movie. It's the fucking submarine car. And
let's just flag up. This car is called the Wet Nelly.
Fuck off! No, it's not.
No, it is. It definitely is. You can look that up.
No, it's not.
On set, they called it the Wet Nelly, named after the Little Nelly from You Only Live Twice.
But Bond fires a missile upwards and kills Naomi. I still think we were robbed of a scene of her like dusting herself off from the helicopter wreck. And then because like it's not enough to just have like the submarine thing, we then have like a submarine chase with the car, which is cool. We're redoing bits from Thunderball, like guys in scuba suits, like in special submarines trying to kill you. Although it is funny how much underwater photography has like evolved in like 10 years, give or take?
Yeah, it's very
in
impressive.
between these two movies, and it already looks like totally different.
There's a nice cute bit where Triple X uses some of the gadgets in the Lotus, and Bond says, "How did you know that was there?" And she says, "Oh, I saw the blueprints for this car 2 years ago."
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Smith stuff. I love this shit. Yeah, 100%. So Bond and Amasova embark on an American submarine to try and locate what they believe is the cause of this, the like submarine disappearances, which is a Stromberg tanker.
Although first there's a scene back at the hotel where she discovers that it was Bond who killed her boyfriend. And she says, when this mission is over, I will kill you. And we get a genuinely quite human moment where...
Yeah.
Because she says, oh, was it you who killed him? And he basically is like, he does like, for me, it was Tuesday. He's like, this guy, somebody was like skiing after me, and like, I wasn't looking him in the face. Like, I killed the guy. Like, it happens. Like, it's our job. And he's like quite frustrated and almost not really remorseful, but like, it's the first time anyone's really challenged him on having killed someone. And she says, when this mission is over, I will kill you. And he seems like quite upset that there's this rift between them.
Roger Moore gets to do some acting, and like because he can act, he just mostly doesn't have to. It's weird when you get these like gear shifts from like I'm going to be doing a sexy voice into like I fucking killed the guy, but that's like most of what we do for work, and it's like I don't know, it's interesting. But yeah, they work out that they suspect this gigantic tanker that Stromberg runs called the Liparus. I keep wanting to call it Pindos, but that's Milo's comedy show. Has been like maybe just like eating the submarines. Like it's just been doing the You Only Live Twice thing, but instead of spaceships, it's submarines.
It's really impressive, actually. So they look behind and it's opening up, and they go, "My God." Which is exactly the same as what happened in the pre-credit sequence. And you go,
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
but
this thing
Bond's-
has exactly 3 submarine bays in it, which is great.
Bond and Damarsova embark on this American submarine. I want to also flag up Bond's fucking naval turtleneck getup
Again, they've decanted him.
in this because I really appreciated it. Yeah, but like not an actual Navy uniform because he has supplied his own tactical turtleneck. I mean, it's a fucking look. I appreciate it a lot. And this American submarine,
They get vored by a tanker.
immediately gets vored. Vored, you only live twice style by the Pindos, the tanker. And we see the other 2 submarines, the British one and the Soviet one, also been captured. Yeah, the Pindos. The it has a different name,
It has
but
a different name, but yeah.
I choose to call it the Pindos.
That's a fair thing to call it.
I mean, also, I'm gonna like the American submarine that they're on is called like the USS Fountains of Wayne. There's not a lot of good ship naming in this.
Yeah. Also, one other thing I want to know is when the submarine that they're on surfaces, it shows like a miniature work, and the miniature hits like a fully 45-degree angle ass upward. If you watch that shot, and it's like, Jesus Christ, are they all right?
No. So we get the big Ken Adams set, right? Which is the inside of this tanker that has 3 submarines and a giant submarine pen.
Fucking baby. Let me tell you, this is the Ken Adams set. Capital K, capital S, capital A again. In the
What
middle.
was the A?
There was an
What
A
was
in
the
there too.
S?
That was
What was
definitely A. Ken Adams set, baby. Listen, they gave Ken Adams £1 million out of the £13 million budget, and they were like, build a fucking set. And he
Whoa.
constructed the single largest at that time, the world's largest soundstage to house this set. And it fucking goes. It is an incredible set.
They had to get Stanley Kubrick to direct a bit of this, filling
They
in.
did.
Should have got him to do the whole movie, but because the director's eyesight was too bad, he couldn't see to like the terminating vista of this soundstage. So they had to get Kubrick to do it.
They brought Kubrick in under, like, he had to swear secrecy to do a little bit of a lighting. And also, Kubrick's daughter is the one who designed Jaws's grill.
Interesting. Anyway, the deep state had Stanley Kubrick assassinated because of Eyes Wide Shut.
No, it's because he filmed the moon landing. We all know
Yeah,
this. On this soundstage, actually. It's how he knew where.
I didn't even know he was dead.
Well, can he ever die, truly?
So
Yes, and he has.
Stromberg's plan here is to have a lot of guys in orange jumpsuits with fantastic, like, sterling submachine guns. The one where the like magazine comes out to the side, so you have to like stand holding it. Just like stand menacingly while he threatens the crew out of the submarine.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's going to put his plan is he's going to put his own dudes onto the nuclear submarines.
Yep.
And he is going to destroy New York and Moscow in order to trigger a
Yep.
nuclear war to bring about the end of the world so that everyone will then live underwater.
I intend to change the face of history
By destroying the world?
by creating a world. A new and beautiful world beneath the sea.
This guy loves
And
the
my
sea.
question is, okay, I believe that this guy, okay, like he's fucking insane, right? That's his plan. But how has
Sure.
he convinced so many people to go along with this? Because he's got a lot of people working for him. And I'm like, your plan doesn't make any fucking sense, dog.
Well, they all imagine they'll be safe.
A lot of people who know how to operate submarines.
What are you going to eat?
He's got 2 full submarines. And incidentally, what does he need the 3rd submarine for? You're just being greedy at that point.
The best line is when Bond's like, all right, Stromberg, you've made your point. What kind of money are you looking for? And Carl's just like, no, you don't get it. I'm doing this. Like, this is, I haven't even fucking told anyone this is happening. It's a complete chance that you are here. I'm doing this. He's like, uh-oh.
Well,
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Fuck.
Amasova gets captured immediately because they go, a woman, and they capture her. And then we get
guy,
like
jokingly knocks her hat off as she's coming off because she's trying to pretend to be a guy. And like, I guess it's just the guard is just having a good time, and he just like
yeah, we like to have
off,
fun here.
and it reveals her beautiful flowing locks, and she just fucking fully knocks him out in one punch. And I was like, yeah, girls rock.
Girls rock.
Girls rock.
We now get like 10 to 20 minutes of battle because Bond Bond escapes. Bond frees the submarine crews, just like in You Only Live Twice, but with more dudes.
Again, it's You Only Live Twice refracted. Again, this is
it's You Only Thunderball Twice.
From love.
From love.
With love, sorry.
You Only Thunderball Twice from love.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
I'm always saying
like try to break into the
Stromberg escapes.
Impregnable control room from You Only Live Twice. He escapes with Amasova because he's
on a monorail that turns into a boat. Yeah, I'm not entirely clear. Other than the
a monorail that just leads directly outside of the ship.
Apart from Naomi and the secretary, both of whom are dead, Triple X is now the only woman that seems to be involved in his plan. So if you're involved in repopulating the world, I mean, you're going to need her, but I feel like you're going to need more than her.
You could perhaps have some sort of underground nuclear base at the bottom of the deepest salt mines, where there would be 10 women to every man.
That sounds great. When are we going to that?
So Bond eventually impregnates the impregnable control
the whole
room.
Point of the doomsday device. So why didn't you tell the world? Carry on. I recently watched
I'm
Dr. Strangelove,
appreciating.
and
Yeah, it's a great movie. Okay, anyway, but Bond escapes on the American submarine, which like torpedoes the ship from the inside and sails out.
Hold up.
Yes.
Bond cannot get into the impregnable control room.
Well,
so what is his solve? He goes, oh, there's a nuke left over.
Yeah, I'm going to use the detonator from a nuclear missile to get into the impregnable.
Takes the conventional explosives part of the nuke and conventional. It's where you can like take the hatch down.
The convention on certain conventional weapons. So yeah,
like, I'm not going to get any more coherent. I've only got 3 more
we've got another one of these episodes to go too. We're recording these back to back. So anyway,
they're coming out of order as well.
Yeah, so Bond has to like extract this detonator, and he's just like, oh, if I touch it to this outer ring, all of us will die. But he does it. He completes the world's most powerful game of Operation.
He gets the subs to explode each other.
Sorry, that got me.
My favorite bit, incidentally, is the captain of the Royal Navy submarine is killed, right? He's killed by a grenade. And Bond is trying to, like, impregnate the impregnable, the impregnable bit. And he collars the nearest Royal Navy officer.
I think you will find it's most impregnable.
Who is like a lieutenant. And he's like, I need to get up there. And so this lieutenant, who looks about 17, goes, right, sir, leave it with me. You, and you, follow me. Runs up the stairs, immediately gets machine gunned to death.
Oh, just completely aced.
I don't think there's even a cut.
No.
I think it's in the same shot.
No, it's the same shot. Yeah, it just follows him up there and it's like, well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, but well done, Bond. You killed a child. So
Again.
Good work, Bond.
Yeah, so like the American submarine gets orders that they have to blow up the base that Stromberg has escaped to, the underwater chimney base. To which Bond replies, "But Anya's on there.
I have to get her off. How?
And yeah, sure, fine. I sighed when I was doing the drop for it. I have to get her off. And the way that he does this is assembling a fucking nonce jet ski, which he rides out there. There's no like security or anything. I guess there doesn't need to be because the security that he has is
Stromberg lets him on.
Yeah, Stromberg lets him on. Stromberg like kind of like taunts him a little bit, even though his plan has now by this point failed. Also, Stromberg is like at his dinner table.
He tries to drop him in a shark tank.
Yeah, tries to drop him in the shark tank unsuccessfully. Tries to shoot him down the length of his table with a crossbow that goes underneath the table with like a big tube. I'm not sure why it needs that. But Bond sort of like places his gun into the tube and shoots Stromberg dead. What is funny to me is that once again we have recurring sponsorship with Tabasco. And so what Stromberg is eating,
Knick-knack, Tabasco.
What Stromberg is eating in his like Palace of Fine Arts looking ass dining room, and which he collapses face first into, is a silver platter of lettuce leaves and a bottle of Tabasco. The meal of fucking champions.
Well, presumably there were oysters on one side.
I'm going to be thinking about the idea
That's...
of just a plate of lettuce leaves with a bottle of Tabasco for the
kind
rest
of
of my
shit
fucking life.
that you eat when you're about to repopulate the world. That's the virility serum, baby.
He's saying goodbye to what he thought would be the last bottle of Tabasco he would ever eat, because there are not going to be any fucking more under the sea.
That's elegiac.
I laughed so fucking hard when I saw that he had a massive tubed gun underneath his table. Like he just goes like, take us. No, what? Okay, sorry, let's go. He goes, Bond, don't worry, I've sent an elevator for you. And the elevator opens up and Bond gets in. And I was like,
L,
don't
Mr.
do what
Bond.
this guy says to do. And and Carl's just like, easy. And then like the doors open and it's revealed that Bond has just stood with his legs completely apart in order to not fall down the shark tube, which A, how the fuck does he know that that's there? But B, how the fuck is that an oversight that you could have?
Same reason he brought a parachute on a skiing trip.
And then he walks in and he's like about to shoot Stromberg. Like, no negotiation, nothing to do here. This guy is just going to kill him. And Stromberg's like, take a seat. And he just sits down. And I'm like, stop doing what this guy says. What the fuck is wrong with you? And he sits down and then they've got that massive great gun stretching the entire end of a table, which you might think that shoots bullets. No, you're stupid. You're wrong. You don't understand James Bond. It shoots a micro rocket that explodes the fuck out of that chair. And then Bond just shoots him 4 to 5 times. And it's like, thanks for coming, everyone.
My notes here simply say, stop fucking calling him Mr. Bond.
Observe, Mr. Bond.
To be fair, he does deliver the line, I've been expecting you, which, there it is. It's not Blofeld, it's actually this guy, who in everyone's memory has turned into Blofeld.
Yeah. So Jaws is not getting paid. The thing is about to be blown the fuck up, but like Jaws lusts in his heart for revenge and also can teleport. So Jaws is able to fight Bond, appear behind Bond using his like Dishonored style blink power, and he and Bond fight. Bond captures him by applying a large electromagnet to his teeth.
Not entirely clear why that is there.
Yeah, it's never used in a previous scene. It is just also there. Bond presses a big button that says magnet. The thing is, Jaws can teleport.
Yes.
Bond has a final technique. And that final technique is called exploit opponent's disability jutsu. And he will always pull that shit out when shit starts to hit the fan. He's like, oh, I see that you're an invalid.
That's his trap card.
It's him, Teehee. There's so many of these dudes that he's done this to. Yeah.
It's Roger Moore's finishing move 100% of the time.
Exploit disability. And so he picks Jaws up by his teeth, drops him into the shark tank, and escapes with Anya in a little like escape capsule with like a bed in it, which is all like luxury. There's a bottle of champagne and stuff. What's funny is we also get a shot of Jaws biting the shark to death.
Yeah, a single
Jaws
movie
simply
villain
bites the shark.
would have died in that moment.
The expression on the shark's face at this point, I can only characterize as, wait, what?
Oh no!
Oh fuck! Oh shit!
The shark's just about like,
The tables have been turned!
the shark's just about like, oh fuck, this is what I've been doing to people? Oh, this sucks!
Yeah,
I'm
Jaws.
so
Jaws
sorry.
teaches a shark a valuable lesson about hubris.
In the original, Jaws died. In the original draft of the script, Jaws died. But test audiences did not like that, so they went back and reshot the bit where Jaws wins the fight and then swims away from the Doom Fortress.
Richard Gere.
Because he's such an
They love him.
enigmatic and interesting character that like he couldn't be just a one-time guy.
Yeah. So they're in the
two-time guy.
escape capsule, and picking up from the thread earlier, she pulls a gun on Bond, and she's like, the mission is over. Now I must kill you for killing my boyfriend.
This is quite a clever bit of drama.
Bond, but then they immediately circumvent it because Bond gets around this by deploying the sex voice. He's like, you wouldn't shoot me, I'm about to bust nut in you. And
he's just like, you wouldn't shoot me. Come on.
you
He's
wouldn't shoot a man who's about to do big cum.
putting his index fingers together again. It's being like, you wouldn't shoot. It's my birthday. Come on. Have a little birthday.
I'm just a little
boy.
guy. I'm just a little guy.
I'm just a little fella. Come on now. You wouldn't shoot a little guy.
He finds a bottle of champagne and he's burbling away as he's opening the champagne, and she pulls the gun on him. And he's like halfway through opening the champagne when he notices that she's got the pistol. And she's like, I'm gonna kill you now. And this kind of was quite a tense moment. And then independently of either of them, the pressure just kind of goes, and the champagne cock. The champagne
You fucking idiot. You've done it again,
Renamed
Sammy.
group
pops.
chat.
The champagne
cock.
Ah.
You wouldn't shoot a man with a champagne cock, would you?
Oh, that's easy.
God damn.
Fucking easy to pick what we're promoting for this one, baby. You would shoot a man
it's
with
the
a champagne.
smoking on that
for
shit
God's
that
sake.
killed James Bond part.
But
Now listen
the
closely,
champagne
007.
cork
It's called the
pops
champagne
independently of either of them. And it relieves the tension of the scene, and they both kind of laugh. And it is quite a nice bit of drama. It's like a well-written scene that the tension is dispelled by this, and they both kind of laugh, and then they shag.
Yeah, they shag.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The
It's fun.
escape capsule is brought aboard a Royal Navy ship, and then both Gogol and M are there. And so they sort of wash them up, and they look through the big window to see them fucking, and they're both kind of like fatherly disappointment is quite nice.
It's very fun because Bond, she's like, what will we do if they find out? And Bond's like, they're not going to find out. And then
Yeah, they're just
it
looking.
cuts to all of them just being like, damn, are they fucking in there?
007.
God, 007 having sex? I would never have expected this of you.
007, what are you doing there? And like the funny obvious line is like détente, sir, but instead he says, keeping the British end up, sir. That's a dick joke. That's a joke about his penis. That's a penis
Sir, my
joke.
penis is erect.
What's détente?
A process of like closer relations and thawing between the Soviet Union and the West, popular in the 1970s. Anyway,
Oh, that would have been such a better line.
would have been
Also, I wouldn't have
hire
understood
me
it.
to write the next Bond movie. Fuck a Phoebe
Hire all of us.
Waller-Bridge. Yeah. Anyway, that's the movie. The next one, it says, is For Your Eyes Only, and it's fucking lying. It's Moonraker.
Oh,
Join
baby.
me, Mr. Bond, in the orbital platform.
In the moon zone.
join me, Mr. Bond, on the moon.
The moon.
Because Star Wars was very popular, and they were like, hey, baby, why don't we put James Bond in space?
In space. What did we think
Space.
of The Spy Who Loved Me?
I genuinely had the best time I've had watching one of these movies. Yeah,
Yes, I
completely.
I worry about that. I worry
Yeah.
that I'm like going soft because like
no,
the
don't worry.
The point of this podcast is that I fucking hate these movies.
That's just the estrogen.
Oh, sure. But like,
She's very soft, ladies and gentlemen. Nah, the
you wouldn't shoot a woman who's going soft.
you wouldn't shoot a man with a champagne cock, would you?
No, you wouldn't shoot a
Come
woman
on.
with a
I'm a little baby boy.
with an estrogenated penis. No.
007, it's called estradiol.
I don't know. The fact that it's the 1970s so
estradiol.
much in this movie really disarms a lot of it.
Yeah,
All the
I
way
think
through.
the thing is, I don't like James Bond, but I fucking love the 70s. And I think that's what's coming through. I think everyone is having a fun time. Like, all of the characters, fucking Jaws, Bond, Anya, Carl, Gogol, they're all having such a good time in all of their scenes that it's hard to not enjoy it as well. That being said...
I appreciate that this film is technically better than a lot of the previous ones.
Sure.
Like, the editing is better, the writing is better. We get to see Roger Moore do some acting. It's like just a better made piece of film. So it is more enjoyable for that reason. But we do have a more science-based system.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, a well-made movie isn't the same as a good movie. Like, when I see the shadows on a cave wall, I understand that that's not real. Like, I'm not going to...
the shadow on a cave wall.
Not to fucking
not?
flex or anything, but I've been looking at these shadows
shit.
for a while, and I've got some suspicions. But, like, a good movie can't pay... Sorry, a good cinematography, a good score, a good, like, shot composition, it can't paper over a terrible plot.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like, good writing will get you through bad technical ability, but good technical ability won't get you through bad writing.
Absolutely. And that comes to the T in all of the fucking later Bond movies.
And we're seeing already the seeds of Bond has run out of ideas because it's now robbing earlier Bond movies for ideas. And this will only get worse.
Ouroboros.
Yes. The Bond devouring his own tail.
Yeah, I'm ready to just, like, I just want the audience to be ready for how angry I'm going to be during the Spectre biggest explosion ever
This
scene.
might be the high watermark for the Moore years.
I genuinely loved this movie. I didn't love it, but, like, I've been trained to expect bad movies, and this was pretty good, all things considered. Like, I had a good time.
We have a scientific-based rating
We do have a
system on this
scientific
podcast.
method.
It's known as the SCUM system for SMUM. Cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence, and misogyny. So, where would we place? Almost lost the damn thing.
You wouldn't hit a little birthday boy, would you? Come now.
Where would we place the spy who loved me? SMUM.
It's Roger Moore.
I think Smarm's got to be pretty high.
Yeah,
So-
it's Roger
Woman
Moore.
drivers,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind
the
of thing.
woman
There's a lot of
driver
that sort of
scene
thing.
on its own has the same amount of smarm condensed into it as any other, like, Bond movie.
I agree. It's a high SMUM. It's a high SMUM. I'm gonna say like a 6 or a 7.
But at the same time, he's also quite sincere at several points.
That's
And I
true.
think that-
He has
that
like
should
moments
get
of
marks
vulnerability.
off.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're moving me down to like a 5 or a 6 here. What do we think?
I was going to suggest a 4. What do you think, Dev?
Really?
I would go for a 5. I don't think you could get me lower than a 5, honestly.
Okay. Well, we'll call that a 5. Now,
Okay.
cultural insensitivity. Well, I mean,
Well,
we
they
do
had a
have
guy.
the 2-hit combo of oil and sheep's eyes, but the really unforgivable cultural insensitivity here, I think.
Mamma mia, che è successo?
Fuck you, I was going to make that joke. I had that ready.
Anti-Italian discrimination. 100 fucking points.
I think the fact that this is the single most mistreated minority group in history is the Italian man.
That's right.
And
That's
to
right.
make fun of him is unacceptable to me. I think that 7 is too low. I think that we need to look at. I think it's actually not that bad, honestly, compared to some of the earlier movies.
It's like a 2 or a 3.
The Egypt stuff is like an OSS Sandy set
Yeah,
level.
exactly. Because again, they did have an Egyptian guy from the government on the set being like, no, not that.
Imagine the stuff he fucking took out.
God,
Jesus
imagine.
Christ. Yeah, all right. I'm willing to go to like a 3 or a 4.
Okay, 3.
3 points of cultural.
Because there's nothing that
insensitivity.
really stood out to me as like an absolute cultural oh fuck moment.
Mamma mia, che è successo?
Obviously, apart from that, yeah.
Now,
Unprovoked violence, Justice for Shandor.
Mamma mia!
Justice for fucking Shandor. And also, I mean, I know it's provoked violence, but I still don't forgive him for killing Naomi.
I also don't forgive him for swinging that woman in the way of Shandor's bullet.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fucking unprovoked.
Pretty unprovoked violence.
You could have ducked, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I don't know. I think the Shandor thing is so deliberate that it's got to like bump it up the rankings.
Yeah, because it's like a real moment of just like, well, you're dead now. Goodbye.
Well, time to murder you. And so I'm willing
you're
to say
entirely
like
at my mercy. Time to kill you.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Say like a 5 or a 6.
Like a 5 or a 6.
However you slice that, it's not an ideal use of your day.
No.
Yeah, I'd say a 6.
Go 6.
With a 6. It's gonna get higher
I think it's
in the
slightly higher
fucking
than
Pierce Brosnan years, where they have just like a body count in the thousands.
Yeah. Now, misogyny. Misogyny. Well, I mean...
Well, I listen to women, so I'm going to let you two talk about misogyny.
Drivers. She's playing the other tune. Receive my limp penis. It's like...
Come on now, you wouldn't hit
just the estrogen.
Boy. Come now.
Enjoy a succulent Chinese meal. Yeah, no,
and also the terrified lady in the tent. I feel like it's got some nasty moments that take me out of it. At the same time, Triple X is given a lot more agency than women in previous films, and I feel like it's got to get some points for that.
The point of a doomsday device is to tell the world. So why did you tell the world?
I feel like this is also going to be on like at the average to high end of like say 4 or 5. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we've gone from Bond raping a Bond girl to now he just like makes fun of her driving. So improvement.
That's true. It's called
a little bit at a time,
growth.
baby.
Yes,
we could get there. We could have a decent Bond.
I would go
maybe.
for like a 4. It's not like we haven't got anybody like really offensive like Goodnight, who's just like bimbo. Like,
no.
Yes, there are definitely women characters in this who are like disposable. Yeah, I'd go 4 or 5. What do you think, Dev?
Oh, I listen to women, so whatever you think.
I'd say 4.
4 or 5, yeah. 4 or 5 works for me, 100%.
So,
okay.
This being the case...
that gives us a total of 6, 10, 15, 18, which is pretty good. That makes it the... So Dr. No was a 17, so we're worse than that. I mean, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is still well in the lead on 8, but we're currently with the bronze medal, Spy Who Loved Me at 18. Pretty darn good.
You know who I really missed in this movie? You know who I really wish had been in this movie?
Sheriff J.W. Pepper, Louisiana State Police.
I'm going to come to your house and shoot you with a real gun. We have 2 more awards to give out for this movie. The Kronstein Rosette, I believe we have some nominations.
Naomi.
Okay, now I'm gonna stop you there. Would you say that you are horny instead of actually thinking about underappreciated? Okay, fair enough. Naomi done.
It's both. It's both.
All right, fine, Naomi.
I both want her to kill me with a helicopter, but also I think she is an underappreciated henchwoman.
Fine, I would have gone Shandor, but I'm clearly outvoted. So,
because like Stromberg is like, go kill these 2, and she's like, all right, boss, I'll take the helicopter. You have no need to do that, but
she has fun with it.
Yeah.
The other thing is, getting in any of Carl Stromberg's helicopters is a fucking risk because my man has
but boss,
button.
do you mind not detonating the explosive charge you apparently have in all of these?
Fine, very well. Then we will go on to our second possible award, which is the Goodnight Cross for underappreciated side characters who are not explicitly villainous.
I think General Gogol has his moments. He's quite charming. He's quite urbane. I like anyone who talks about Anglo-Soviet cooperation. And I think he provides an interesting foil to M. And it's like an interesting piece of ideology to suggest that MI6 and the KGB are like rival competing companies that are basically the same.
I wouldn't disagree. I would also put forward Commander Carter. just entirely based on how good he is. As soon as he realizes there's a woman aboard.
That's the guy who's like, I need to get her off. How? That guy.
That guy.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like that young ass lieutenant who immediately gets killed deserves some kind of medal.
That guy. I don't even know what his name was, but I think posthumous fucking goodnight cross to that guy.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Rest in peace to a true king. Rest in power, my man.
That's right. Smoking one up for my boy, dead Navy officer.
And we will be smoking it up on the moon.
Shit the fuck up. Champagne cock.
Champagne cock 007.
Champagne cocks and mids on the moon next time, ladies.
The next bonus episode from when you hear this will be, I believe this is our 10th free episode, so our 10th bonus has to be a second Q&A.
Yeah, A those Qs.
Qs.
Q those A's. We will A your Qs.
Oh yeah, we'll be queuing them. You can A them.
We will be A'ing your Qs beneath the sea.
There will be a thing up on the Patreon. And if you're not subscribed to the Patreon, I don't know what to tell you, pal. Subscribe to it. Like, I'm not going to post one that isn't on there. So.
All right. Goodbye, Mr. Bund.
Haha. Wow. What an exciting and fun episode of the Kill James Bond podcast. I am recording this several weeks after that episode, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember anything that we said or what happened. But you can catch the next episode in 2 weeks' time, and that will be Moonraker, a movie that I have already watched and find to be completely insane. So get excited for that. But if that is simply too long for you to wait, we have a Patreon where we upload bonus episodes on those interstitial weeks. The next one will be the next Q&A, which I'm very excited for you all to hear. But speaking of patrons, we would be nothing, of course, without our beautiful £15 and above patrons, and those are Paint McCalla, George Rohack, Bobby Lagerstrom, Nikki, Jack Bushell, Larry Kins, Amanda Comet, Timothy Pajorni, Trip, Mothman himself, Jay Martindale, Alfredo Rayo Leal, Zoe Shepard, Jonas Schwamberger, Joshua Simmons, Robbie Morgan, James Knappman, Aaron Bayer, and David Wickmaranta. So, yeah, okay, this is Kill James Bond, starring Alice, Abigail, and Devon. Our producer, as always, is Nate Bethay. Our podcast art is by Matty Lubchansky, and our website is by the wonderful Tom Allen. Thank you for listening. Shit.